I guess it's only appropriate. The very first one starts with
All
me
right.
drinking beer.
There you go.
So,
I love it. Cheers to
all
that.
right, I'm
Looks
going to
like
go off screen real quick.
we're live.
Yeah.
Hello
Okay.
world.
Yeah. I'm going to hop off real quick and just, yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm just going to check YouTube real quick to see if it shows me that I'm live. I'm very
Oh, you're
curious about
live.
that
I got
now.
it up on my screen. We're live, baby.
So, okay. All right. What's going on, everybody? Yeah. Okay. I see we have a viewer. You are the.
Hank's Handy Baits. And as we're live, Chris decides to back out of his very first podcast. Hello, everybody.
Looks like we lost for
And
first
he's
second.
back.
Okay. Yeah. I see some comments here. Jigget Bates, what's happening, man? Yeah, so this is going to be somewhat of a new content, and Michael's been helping me out a lot. So a lot of you may know this gentleman here. He's on my right side of the screen. This is the man himself, Mr. Bait Chuckin', and
Hello.
you might know him in the bait community as the guy behind. Yeah, say hello.
How's it going,
No, no,
everybody?
not going
Nice
to
to
say
meet you.
hello.
I am saying, see, I think there's a
Say hello,
delay.
Michael.
I'm saying hello.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, probably. Well, yeah, he's all the way across the universe in California. So yeah, basically, I've been wanting to do sort of a more podcast forum style content for a long time to sort of supplement my normal tutorial videos. Um, and Michael is somewhat of an expert in this sort of thing. Oh, Pete, what's going on, buddy? Yep, Pete. I can never pronounce your name, dude. Is it Pete Papas or Papa? I can never figure it out, but we'll put him up here since I butchered his name. So yeah, but basically, this will just be another type of content through World's Worst Fishing, um, affectionately titled "Casting Creations," just a lure making podcast. And what I really hope it becomes is an interactive sort of almost a bait maker's talk show in a way that will boost out live, interact with the chat, have a lot of guests, and just talk about bait topics, current events, opinions, even
Yeah.
debates, discussions, whatever it may be. So, welcome everybody. Excuse me, shouldn't have drank that beer. To the
That's
first ever one. So,
episode one. And then I think it's
episode one.
fantastic that we're starting off with beer and
Yeah,
IT
what are you
issues.
drinking? Yeah,
I am.
show us what your beverage is.
Well, it's in a
Important.
container here, but it's this is from a local brewery out of San Francisco. Excuse me, 21st Amendment Brewery, and it is Hell Over High
I love
Watermelon.
it.
So it's a watermelon in
Okay.
wheat beer. So they actually ferment the
Okay.
watermelons as part of the process. So it's got a nice kind of watermelon kick
Ah,
to it at the end. Yeah.
I don't have anything that fancy. Oh, my mom's in the chat. Say hello to my
Hi,
mother.
Mrs. Jones.
Yep. Hello.
Mrs.
Hey, mom.
Jones.
Yep. Good song. Me and Mrs. Jones. So yeah, I'm drinking another American beverage. Yeah, Yingling.
Yingling,
No,
America's
no
oldest.
surprise there. America's oldest brewery out of Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Yeah, maybe we could get Yingling to sponsor the podcast.
Wouldn't that be
That would be
awesome?
fantastic.
That'd be
Yeah,
superb.
instead of adult toys. Yeah, like I keep getting offers for. So
Maybe they're trying
so
to tell you
anyway,
something.
y'all, this is the first ever. Yeah, yeah. This is the first ever, version of this style live stream and podcast for me. What sort of topics and discussions would you like to see? Obviously, we're going to try to use some of this new podcasting equipment. I've had to add some things here, also to bring you some live pouring, some live bait making, of course. But this is really what I want is the engagement. I want the engagement with you guys. This is a much better way for me to field chats and answer questions than just going live on my phone. And my phone's way over there in the corner, and I can't really see anything. And this allows me to have guest speakers where we can discuss things. We can share other people's content on the screen and just sort of have an all around discussion about all things bait making. So, we can even hop on YouTube or hop on Facebook and look at what you guys are up to in the baits that y'all are making, and have a lot of fun doing it. So this is so cool. Thank you, Scott, for that. I will put your post up. And don't forget, super chats are how we survive in this kind of space. So if you want to support the
Yes.
channel, obviously give both of our channels subscribe. Michael over at Bait Chuck, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't, because you're probably already using his powders. The least you can do is watch his content. So give him a sub. Come on over to World's Worst Fishing, like, subscribe, and be on the lookout for more of these podcasts. So, if you have a really burning question and you want my full attention, drop us a super chat. So, yeah. How's it
And
going,
become.
SS Bates? How are you? Yeah.
I would. Do you have the memberships turned on? Can people join the channel? Do you have
I
that
think
going yet?
so, but I haven't. With that kind of comes the responsibility for me to do uh, subscriber content just
Well, you
for
just
them,
you just
which
do
I haven't really.
subscriber only or member only live streams. It doesn't have to be
Yeah,
videos.
sure,
You could just, if you're
sure.
out in the garage pouring one day, this is the chance to be a
Yeah,
little more intimate.
not
Because
bad.
this is
Yeah.
small. This is starting off small now, but before you know it, there'll be
Hmm.
1,000 people watching this show every time we're
That's
live.
what we
So
want. That's what
yeah,
we want. Sweet boys, what's going on, man? Yeah,
Johnny, what's
yeah, we're
up?
yep, we're yep, we're for sure gonna have Johnny on. Absolutely. Yeah, Scott, we will. I will try to get all of these people in here. We were actually talking with Adam at one point about him sort of being part of the, I won't call it a show, I guess, but part of the podcast. All three of us were actually going to kind of join forces. I think he just wanted to do some other things this year. So um, yeah, and not everyone just enjoys just long form chit chatting. I talk too much, so
We'll
this
get
just
him on the show, though. I mean, we'll
made
get
sense for
everyone
me. Let's.
on the
Oh
show.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, we'll cycle people
He's
through.
coming
So yeah,
coming on here. Yeah, and hopefully Michael will be on here a lot. I'm really hoping
yeah, that's
he
the
enjoys
plan.
this sort of thing, and talking with him, kind of gave me the confidence I needed to jump into this. Because it's really fun to do these live streams, because you get the live engagement with your audience.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's a different type of content. I don't always, I'm sure Michael's the same way. Not every weekend do I have a whole day to film, edit, and prepare
Yeah.
one of my long form,
Yeah.
bait making tutorials, especially if it's something complicated or something hand poured where there's long preheat cycles, cool down cycles. It takes almost a whole day, guys, for me to come out here just to film my average video from the time I come out here, get things going, get the shots, get the opening, do the bait making, and then, oh, by the way, after 4 or 5 hours of that, I then get to go inside and do all the edit
Edit.
work. So
Yeah. The 12
even
hours
though
of
these
editing
live
tacked
streams
on top
can
of it.
run, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I don't edit for 12 hours. I'm pretty simple, but even though these live streams can run really long, the total aggregate time commitment is actually much shorter than that. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this will be a fun, new, exciting way for me to supplement some of that lack of content. So at least today, yes, Johnny knows. Johnny knows
Mm.
because he is in the arena as well,
Yeah. All the YouTube
very
bait
much.
makers know. I mean,
So,
all you in the
Michael,
audience. Yeah.
what do we want to
Go
get
ahead.
into here?
We can get into whatever you want
I
to.
was just saying, what do we want to get into? Okay, hold on. I think we have a question here.
Oh, we got a question in chat.
I have some stone molds. Oh no, I got to
Ooh.
take a drink for that stone.
Ooh. Hey, you got to start somewhere. So not hating on it,
Yes,
but you're gonna
yes.
want to jump to
No, not
aluminum.
hating.
Yeah.
I just feel bad. My
Yeah.
heart goes out. No, do not preheat a stone mold. They will warp. I actually have a funny video where I do the battle of the molds. Right. This is a long time ago now. I did casted aluminum, so like your do it mold. I did a stone mold, which is really corium, sort of like a countertop material. And let's see, and then a CNC machined. And at the end of the video, I try to preheat the stone mold on my griddle, and it warps. So I made some baits with air bubbles when I don't preheat. Man, I'm not even sure how to help because I don't have a ton of experience with stone molds because they're so
I,
aggravating.
are they even vented to
You know,
get the air out of there?
yeah, they're vented, but same with the casted molds. You're dealing with poor tolerances. Just the machining, the material just machines poorly. Mm, the only thing I can say is inject super slow. Use a heavy mold release agent. Oil, a lubricant, and that's about the best you can do. I think if you keep preheating them, you're going to have problems overall. And I think there's better options. Stone molds are obviously a budget friendly option. Just get the do it casted aluminum. You're going to have much
Yeah.
better success. And they're really in the same. I mean, they're in the same price ballpark, aren't they? I mean, call
Yeah,
me nuts.
they're
Yeah,
pretty close. And I would even say, look, the do it stuff goes on sale every time Taco Warehouse has a sale. So you can get them for even cheaper if you hang around, wait for a sale. I know they're going to have a big spring sale coming up and you can grab them pretty cheap there. So,
yeah, mhm, yep. The stone mold in my video got intimate with the hammer. Did I? Did I actually beat the stone mold up
did
at the end
you
of that video
did
with a
you
hammer?
rage on a stone mold
Hey, I have
hamster?
some other things I'd like to do that with. Golly, yeah, I've got a top computer. The second I can. So, but yeah, Michael and I have kind of been in these streaming studios just on the back end testing some things. We had an audio issue, but while we were in there, we got into all these really great discussions and watched some other bait makers. So that's what I want us to get into here.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out what we want to do. What do we want to do? What do we
I
want to
mean,
talk
you
about?
you could pick your favorite Instagram feed and scroll through it, I guess, if you want. Or, I mean, gosh, there's
Yeah.
so many
Who
topics
was
to go
that?
through.
You were showing me. I oh, I know.
Oh,
It's like this is excise tax month for us who sell baits, and boy, I could get into why I hate the excise tax and how you're supposed to do it. So many bait makers are not paying it, and
yeah, you got to be careful when they come
fingers
auditing.
crossed that doesn't come back to bite them.
Yeah.
Like anything is really a topic for discussion. I have to stroke that check here at the end of the month on my birthday. So I
Oof.
always wait till the last. I
Happy
literally wait till the
birthday.
last day of the month that it's due because, yeah, that makes me feel better at least. Yep, it literally, yeah, yep. Quarter 4 gets paid in January, and I wait till the last day. Best thing for stone molds is a hammer. I think you're right. That's hilarious. That's funny. Oh, look at this. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hey, what a compliment right here. There are plenty more videos to come.
Oh,
Let's
thank you, Only
see.
Jigs.
Jig it baits. Oh, yeah. Panfish and stick baits. How long can I keep my panfish baits with tails and appendages? So, are you asking about packaging your baits and if they'll get all kinked permanently? Like, are you worried about how you're packaging the
I think
plastics?
that's my guess is what
Because
he's
I
asking.
don't really
Yeah.
think they're just going to get ruined. I'm not really sure what the.
Well, I think that comes down to a good cure,
Yeah,
right?
I'm
I
not
think
sure I know what his concern is there.
well, I think the question is like, are they going to bend
Hmm.
in the bag, or how do
Yeah,
I prevent bending them in the bag?
sure.
And so I think if you make sure you give them like a good week to cure, Once they cure with the tails and the appendages straight, this is why a lot of people hang their baits so the worms will cure straight. Once they're cured in that form, then they'll hold their shape pretty good. You put them in the bag, put a little squirt of your scent or
Yeah.
plastisol in there, seal it up. They should be good to go, just as if you pull them off the shelf. Now, if they're sitting there for 6-7 months in the same position, they might be a little bent, but when you take them out, you just lay them on the deck of your boat or in the sun, for 15 minutes, they straighten right out. So yeah, all about the cure
Yeah,
time, I
and
would say.
and small panfish baits, they tend to cure pretty fast. If you're talking about a chunky 9-inch swim bait piece of plastic, I would cure it a week. I would even paper cure it, where you lay it on paper and the
Yeah.
paper pulls the oil. Um, when's the next video, Chris? Right now, man. This is it.
This is it.
This is it. This is a new type of content. Yes, I actually did do a. God, I can't even remember all the content. People, it's been 7 years. Yeah, I did do actually a kinked tail video where I poured a bunch of big swim baits, tried to cure them in the worst possible shapes I could, and swam fantastic. So, at the end of the day, it might not matter. It really might not.
Hey, Chris, can I point something out real
It
quick
might
to the
not.
chat?
So yeah, let's hop into something.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
I
course.
I just wanted
Yeah,
to
dude.
let the
Absolutely.
we have over
Take the
60
reins,
people
man.
watching right now, and I only see 10 thumbs up. So I would like the chat to get its act together and, help a couple brothers out and hit that thumbs up button and share the stream, post it on
Yeah.
Facebook,
Yep.
your favorite forum. Let them know that we're going to be doing this somewhat on the regular. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's all.
Yep.
Thumbs, it,
I think it's long overdue to have some sort of a live interactive lure making based podcast where we can engage with the community at large, not just my audience. But yeah, definitely. Anything you can do to help us algorithmically, because the algorithm hates me and it hates Michael and it hates all of us. So, if you don't have mega bucks to spend on promotion, YouTube doesn't like you anymore.
nope.
It has lost its original purpose, which was the original slogan was broadcast yourself. And now they should change it to broadcast big media with big money. So let's see. I'm getting trolled here in a way.
Oh, are you? Uh oh.
Oh, Laura. Yes, this is actually family. This is my wife's younger
Oh.
sister, or one of her younger sisters. Will She wants some saltwater baits? Okay, just where I live. Come over. We'll make some saltwater baits. That's the best I can do. Okay, we will make some saltwater baits. Yeah, Johnny, I actually thought about setting the Deadhead Facebook group, or actually the World's Worst Fishing Facebook official page as one of the destinations for the stream, but I decided to keep it just to YouTube tonight. I don't know how things work whenever you blast it out to too many places, because I wanted to get the chats. So I don't know if somebody watches it on Facebook at the same, if they're able to comment or not. I don't know. Michael probably knows, but I don't know.
Yeah, we would see the combined chat, but it would be difficult. People on Facebook wouldn't know what YouTube is chatting about, and vice versa.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah, it's best to just have everyone come to one platform. I feel
Okay.
that's just my opinion.
Okay.
Who knows?
What LureWorks colors should I use to make motor oil?
You could just get LureWorks motor oil.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, cool. Yeah, I was going to say, if you're strictly talking LureWorks motor oil, and if you don't like how it comes out of the bag, or out of the bottle, add 1 drop of cherry red, which is also LureWorks. It will change your video.
Only 1 drop. You don't need more than 1 drop.
And yeah, cherry red, man, it's like hot sauce. 1 drop does it. Okay. And if you want great motor oil recipes, Michael probably has the video on that, in terms of how to capture the MF changeable motor oil that everyone loves. I did a video where I tried to make it with non-translucent dyes, and I actually got some pretty cool results, but it's just not the same. Still it's still not there.
Yeah, I actually have a video with the recipe. It came directly from Jeff at MF himself.
Let's pull it up and show it.
We can pull. Yeah,
what we can do, right?
Do you want to pull it up? Do you want me to pull it up?
Okay. Yeah, I'll see if I can pull it in.
Here, I got
Let
it.
me.
But yeah, I did for the chat. I did a video. The recipe came directly from Jeff at MF. You know, they moved to Oklahoma. He got really sick. He wasn't sure what was going to happen. So that's why they were actually starting to shut things down. And he gave out the recipe because he wanted everyone to have it. So I shared it with everyone. I don't want to give the spoiler away here. You're going to have to go click on the video and watch it. But it is the exact recipe, how they used to make it, how the revised version's made now. And then you can kind of take that. And, you know, lots of people have been formulating their own versions of motor oil based on that recipe. But the good news is, for those people that don't know, I made an announcement in my last video. MF is slowly coming back online. Jeff's kind of got his feet under him now. Things are settled in. So him and Mrs. T are getting things going. And they actually just dropped a batch of MF motor oil on their site like a week ago. And I think there's still some left. So they are slowly coming online with colors only. But I believe it's only colors. So there's your kind of MF update for the crew. Hopefully a lot of people will catch this. And so give them time. They're slowly getting back on their feet. So.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, what's happening?
Ads. Commercials.
All right. It has not been 30 minutes yet, Canon. All right, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can boot this up.
Homeowners who like being
all right.
ready.
Should I skip
That's why
the ad,
we have
or are you going to get mad?
No, I don't care. Skip the ad.
What is security?
Just kidding. Totally. All right, here we go. Color recipe. Yeah.
No matter how you use it, get creative, but go ahead and leave the word epic down below. And then in the next video, we'll go ahead and pick 4 awesome winners. We will do that on video. So don't believe anybody reaching out to you in the comment section. Be careful of scammers and everything down there. So what do you say we bust open these large cavity count molds, huh? See what we're working with. You know, we can just jump right to the recipe. All right, and so for our color today, I can't think of any other color that shows off a worm mold better than motor oil. Okay. So I'm going to be showing you my little twist on something I like to call Mikey's motor oil. So to start things off, we're going to kick it off with the MF motor oil. Now this is the current version that you...
Yeah, you can pull it up. I mean, the title of the video is literally making the original motor oil recipe.
Yeah, no, that was one I did a while back. I was kind of...
That's not it? Okay.
That was kind of clickbaity. I'm sorry.
All right.
My fault, everyone.
Clickbait. Come on, man. Yeah. All right.
Hey, you got to get views somehow. How do you get these bait makers to watch your video?
We are all going to have to resort to click titles, man. 72 people in here. Awesome. Hit the thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Yeah, we are going to try to bring y'all some fun stuff here.
All right. I have it all queued up here. Let me share my screen.
All right. Yeah, bring her in.
Yes, share. All right.
Okay. I think I have to add to the...
There we go. All right, before we get into the motor oil recipe, I encourage everyone, please, if you're not already, probably wondering, like, is this some kind of gimmick? What's the whole point of this video? And I know you've already. This is the whole history of it right here. This is not a gimmick. The reality of the situation is that, you know, Mixmaster Jay, he's getting old, and him and Mrs. T, they don't know how much. When I heard this, I was having a conversation with him. I'm trying to skip ahead. I just said all this. To purchase the motor oil recipe. I was like, I will buy that from you. What is your price tag? Because I would love to bottle it up and sell it under 8-bit baits. I mean, who wouldn't, right? Well, he actually refused to sell it to me because Mixmaster Jay wanted to give it out for free. Yep, and that's right. He wanted to give it out the motor oil has caused such a craze since Chris Jones's original video. He hates you for this, by the way. That video you did.
I know. I know. He called me after I did the motor oil apocalypse video, and he literally got my cell number like from his order history. I didn't like give him my cell number. He found it, I guess, because I'm a customer, and I guess I put my phone number in, and he called me. Man, when you did that video, I had to fill so many 2-ounce bottles. Like he said, he just wanted to just remove the product. It was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Good times.
Let me see if I can skip ahead here. Goes to the original like sauce that everyone wanted. You know, everyone wanted that OG, that deep red motor oil. Well, that red comes from this right here, the Jelly Red Firetail. This is item number 3328, the original 28 Firetail Jelly Red. And that original Jelly Red, by the way, probably if anyone has a bottle of that at home, that is liquid gold. Because can't get it. Lureworks lost a bunch of colors because they couldn't do it. Like everyone's trying to find that particular red. It's so, yeah, they just don't make it anymore. It's crazy. I agree. I will say though, I did in my own. I haven't done a video, but side by side, I did the old MF Jelly Apple Red and the Lureworks Jelly Red, and they look visually they look almost identical. But they do not interact with other colors the way the old one did for some reason. I don't know why, but it's just something about it. Now,
it was magic, man. Like I mentioned, Lureworks had to discontinue. Oh, no, go ahead. Lureworks had to get rid of a color because of a red that they couldn't source.
Yeah. So I'm just playing. I don't know how much you want me to play. I was just kind of sifting through.
Just kind of get us through the just through the pigments that you need, because that this will be the best answer to that question that this guy can get. So
actually wasn't even one of the primary ingredients in the motor oil recipe. Firetail was actually an ingredient to this color right here. 3306, the original number 6 purple. Hard to see here because it's just bleeds everywhere. It's bleed through the plastic bottle and it's covered up the label. But this is number 6 purple because the actual recipe for motor oil is a 50-50 ratio of MF's purple and MF's transparent chartreuse. Yes. That's it. You are probably as stunned as I was when I first heard that. People didn't catch that. It's purple, and transparent fluorescent chartreuse. That's the original motor oil.
Okay. Sneaky.
Yeah.
And that red, where does the jelly red come into play?
Red is part of that original purple. So
part of the purple. Okay.
It's part of the purple. So the reason it changed is once he had to swap out the red, so they replaced that purple changed.
Yeah.
So you can later on in the video, I'll let people watch the video. Later on in the video, you can use purple and transparent fluorescent chartreuse 50-50, and that'll give you today's motor oil. It's the same motor oil revision you can get today. But the red's not there because it's not in the purple. So that's why, like you actually discovered, Chris, you just add that drop of cherry red dye from Lureworks, get you pretty close. And that's brings some of that red tone back in, gives it that root beer kind of red looking color. So
the chat looks like it's almost froze up here, the last one being 8 minutes ago, so not sure how
scroll down you just got to scroll down.
I'm as down as I can get.
I got chat. It's going. They're talking
guys,
about
send a chat. I want to make sure my chats are coming through, because that's half the fun, is getting to talk to you guys. So
they're not even listening to us, they're answering their own questions. Jacob's in there telling people to use super glue gel for eyes, and I think we're talking.
I don't even have these. I don't even have these chats.
You don't?
No. My last comment was only jigs 8 minutes ago, so I guess I'll go establish the live chat. No. Well, anyway. You can keep on with the recipe, or we can move on.
No, we can move on. It's all good. We don't need to stare at my ugly mug. It's your show.
Okay. Oh, shoot. Well, throw a comment up here because, like I said, I can't see any of these chats
Really?
for some reason.
I don't have the ability to highlight them,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Do you have to unhighlight?
Oh,
You
okay.
currently have one highlighted from Hank Candy Bates. I wonder if you need to unhighlight that, and then maybe it'll allow you to scroll down.
Yeah, I'm not. Now I have to find it. Growing pains, guys.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I see lots of people in the chat. HN Adventures, the lock picking engineers here, Fat Boy
Yeah,
Fishing's
no, I
here.
took it off, and my chat still doesn't
Really?
want to load.
Street Ripped Outdoors.
Let's see. I'm gonna put something in the chat.
Toby's in here from 50 Custom Baits. What's up, Toby? Baldwin Baits,
Yep.
Mike Funk.
Yeah, I just put a chat in and don't see it. So anyway,
It's
interesting.
scrolling. I see it on the left here in the comments section. Yeah, I see it on EV Mux too.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking at. Nope, now we're up to 10 minutes ago.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's no private chat going. Well, I don't know. I don't want to lose momentum. We can we can move into something else.
Well, we got a good question here from Baldwin Bates. He's asking, do vacuum chambers matter price-wise? A $100 vacuum pump versus a $300 vacuum pump?
Your audio cut out a little bit there. He's asking about vacuum chambers.
Yeah, so he's wanting to know, do vacuum chambers matter in terms of price, like buying a $100 vacuum chamber versus a $300 vacuum chamber? Is it going to matter?
Oh, okay. So Julie's watching from her iPad, and I should look a lot better in that. I'm going to need a Wi-Fi booster.
I tell you, you're going to want that cable. I'm telling you, man.
Okay, yeah, see, yeah. Yeah. Can I run a US HDMI cable from our bedroom out here? Well, she said no.
It's only when you're live. You only need it when you're live, and then you can unplug it when you're not
See,
live.
what's crazy is I look super clear on here. You look great on the iPad. I don't. So, Johnny Sweeten into, I've argued with people for years over motor oil not containing brown. That's funny. Yeah, I guess it doesn't. I guess.
See, you're caught up on chat. You got the chat right there.
Because my wife's iPad is over here.
Oh,
I'm reading the chats off. Yeah, off of here.
Well, here's the question: is she downloading? Is the video going on the iPad at the same time? Because that's
She just has this live stream up on her.
Gotcha.
Because
all of that internet traffic will slow down your video upload.
I know. Yeah, I look like I'm in 360.
That's okay.
Or whatever. Yeah. So even though I'm streaming in 1080,
you sound great though. I love the new microphone. It sounds really good.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Growing pains, y'all. Everything. I'm super crisp, clear picture on here, but it's buffering a little bit. I'm not super clear on at least where she's doing her iPad. I've got a new color
Fat
for
Boy
you both
Fishing.
to make. Okay.
Johnny and Jacob aren't peasants. We got to get them on.
Okay.
This is just the first episode. You already see the technical difficulties we're having right now. We're trying to work through episode 1 first.
Okay. So my audio's glitching a little bit. Okay. So growing pains, guys. We are just having a lot of fun. I've been enjoying learning how to do. Well, still learning how to do, but getting something like this set up. It's a lot more involved than just turning live on my phone. So that's for sure. We're not worthy. Johnny, what are you not worthy of?
Oh, everyone's asking in the chat how come Jacob and Johnny aren't on the podcast. That's why
Okay.
I was telling them, you got to let us get through episode 1 first. We got to get the bugs worked out.
Yep. Gotta get some bugs worked out. And we did a lot of testing behind the scenes. But you don't know if my internet's not strong enough until you actually try
Until
live.
you run it. Yeah,
Hmm
this is how you get it done.
You literally have to run it. There's no way this doesn't tell you your internet signal's too weak to go live. Maybe they should put something like that on there. But can you explain why people use cooling plates? Well, so cooling plates tend to be for production guys who are, running shooting stars and running a ton of plastic through their molds. Those molds get as hot as they do, preheated on the open floor plate. Um, and the only way to be able to keep moving is you got to cool those baits down. You literally are cooling your molds down, which is a little, to me, counterintuitive. Normally, you're not trying to keep your molds cold. Almost every mold shoots better hot, right? But you're sort of stuck with the dilemma of, do I cool my molds and demold fast to keep moving along with my production, um, or not? So when molds get too hot, it's going to slow you down because you can't even touch them to demold your lures, and they're still going to be gummy and soft. So it's just for that. It's really just a production thing.
Yeah. This would be great to have a discussion to have when Adam's on, because Adam just set up his shooting star
Yeah,
and is going
he
through all
just set
that
up.
right now. I'm going to be setting up mine here
That's so
soon
cool.
too. I'm going to be doing a whole workshop rebuild so I can set up my shooting star. It's still sitting here in the box, but from what I've heard from Adam is the goal is you want to keep your molds right around that like 90 degrees to 100 degrees mark, so you can still handle
Interesting.
them with your hands without burning yourself, but that way they're still warm
Yeah.
enough so that way they inject and you're not going to get any cold spots or short fills or any of that stuff. So the goal, the first couple injections you won't use them, but then you click it on once the molds start to get too hot to touch, and then the idea is to try and keep your molds hovering around that 100 to 90 degree mark so you can handle them. But like Chris said, they're not too hot to handle, but you can still demold. You're filling everything out. The plastic's going to flow where it needs to
Yeah,
flow.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we have the proper equipment. I don't have the proper internet strength out here, apparently. Don't know till you go live. So, yep. So I'll either have to get a Wi-Fi booster. So our internet router is in the bedroom, which is the furthest most place in my house from this wall behind me, which is the most further exterior wall on the other side of the garage. So we're
Oh,
just pulling I guess, too weak of a signal for this sort of thing. But I can come out here and stream, and everything works fine when I'm
it's
when
just you
I'm
by yourself. Yeah.
watching stuff like on my laptop or phone. But I guess to stream out, I need a stronger signal.
There's a great question in the
Great
chat.
question here. What's your
Yeah.
all-time favorite? Oh, okay.
No, yours first. Go.
Fire away. Oh, somebody asked me what my favorite open pour mold is.
Ooh, that's going to be a tough one. There's so many.
Right now, probably the G6. I've been having a lot of fun with the G6. It's got those sexy curves of the G molds, but it's wide enough, particularly in the nose, because of its size. There's plenty of room for activities. I can fit a lot of layers in there, and I've been having a lot of fun. So, yeah, right now, probably the G6.
Very cool.
Can I turn on the laundry machine? No. Apparently, this microphone will actually filter out the noise. I'm still not doing it. No.
There was a question earlier from Street Ripped Outdoors that said, huge question I've had being new to bait making. Why do people not prefer to use their remelts or pucks? I always see huge totes full of them. Does the quality of plastisol drop after every reheat?
Yes, but only after a handful of reheats. So, for example, some of the colors that I pour a lot, okay, just speaking to my hand poured swim baits, which are most of my sales. For hickory shad, I have to have like a really, really rich, strong blue highlight. concentration for the vein color. And because it uses so much blue highlight powder, I reuse it. I actually have a puck of it over here. So if I'm generally aware that, hey, every month I'm going to be pouring hickory shad several times, okay, I'm going to measure out enough that I'm going to get several different sets of swim baits out of it. And so in that situation, yeah, remelt's fine. It's only if you really scorch your plastic up that it becomes a problem. I think a lot of people sell it off and get rid of them because they just take up space, and then the longer they sit, oh, it's raining outside. I hope y'all can't hear that because I can hear it through my headphones. The longer they sit, the more they're just going to collect grime and dirt and sludge and just garage filth, and then you're not going to want to reuse them, especially if you're doing the hand pouring thing and you need very transparent colors without any flaws in it, without any contaminants. There will be a point where I'll even throw a puck away because it just got too dirty. I just think a lot of people just don't want to deal with it. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on it?
Well, I think, it's not necessarily the plastisol going bad, but I've noticed some colors will fade after multiple remelts. Yellows and oranges, I think, seem to be the worst culprits, in my opinion, and they'll fade. I've seen a purple here or there will kind of do the same thing. So, after the fourth or fifth time of remelting, they just start to lose and fade. But I think the reason you probably see tubs of it is because a lot of people will go through production, and if they, let's say, hang their baits, if they're doing worms, you don't want to pull something like a worm off and lay it on a cookie sheet because it's long, and if you lay it and has an S curve in it, right, like it's going to cure that way. We don't want that. So people will hang them, and then once they put everything in bags, you got a bin of all your remelt, right? So versus something like a swim bait or something, or if it's a bait that I know is going to lay flat, if I'm doing a beaver style bait or a craw, I could pull the runner off, lay it out on my cookie sheet, and then, I'll just dump those right back in the cup, since it's already semi-warm, 30 seconds in the microwave, it's back in, and I can, go through the full cup of plastisol, that way. So there's just depends how you want to use your leftovers. So,
that's a good point. A lot of it could just be runners, just the leftover sprues, the leftover runners. I know with injection machines, right? Like the real Zorns, the big time stuff, just a color change runs a ton of plastic through it just to change out. You literally have to just run the rest of it out, sort of like a shooting star. If you have plastic left in the bottom, or in the actual heat exchanger system, you have to run it through, and a lot of that just mixes up and just becomes waste. Somebody asked me about Jeff Peel. Never heard of him. So
I just learned about those Zorn machines too. I actually had a great call with them. I actually was calling to learn about the pricing of them because I'm interested in, I want to expand and set up a shop one day. But I guess with those, those big Zorn machines too, depending on whether you do it for pots or pump, she was explaining it to me, you can basically have the machine set up for 5-gallon buckets or 50-gallon drums. And that's really important because you have to pre-mix your color before it goes through the system. And like you said, it needs to be flushed out and everything. So what happens is at the end of a run, you're going to end up with, a little bit of color left over in your either 5-gallon bucket or your drum. And you can't mix that with anything else. So you're either going to have a bunch of 5-gallon buckets all over your shop with pre-mixed colors in them, or you're going to have a bunch of 50-gallon barrels all over your shop with pre-mixed colors. So you got to keep that kind of stuff in mind when you're running those machines. And she told me, it takes like a gallon.
And that's
I was gonna say it takes like a gallon of plastisol that you have to rip through just to clean out the color.
Yeah.
And then once you get it cleared out, it's like another gallon of the new plastisol to kind of push the clear out and follow it up with the colors you're actually trying to eject. So it's you go through a lot of material when you get to those big machines.
A lot of material. That's why they all run plastisol called Poly 1. It's literally called Poly 1. and it is the absolute like cheapy production plastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
But my
Are
goal
all dead on
someday.
plastics non-bleeds? Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. I just happened to see that one.
No. I said, see, my goal someday, and this is where, and I don't mind putting the playbook out there, but like when I'm looking at a Zorn
Here it is,
machine,
guys.
no, seriously, but like I think there's room for higher quality baits in the world, and that's kind of where I see 8-bit going. It's like I want to run a Zorn machine, but I want to run like dead on through it, a higher quality plastic, so people
Yeah.
get like
My man.
high quality bit. Like like you said, people don't realize the garbage plastisol that they're getting when they're paying $6-7 a bag out there. It's
so bad.
It's so bad.
Yeah. Yep. But I think average Joe Blow angler doesn't know or really care about
They don't
the
care.
resin quality in the plastisol in their Strike King bait, or if it has proper heat stabilizers in it, if the flake is curled. That might be something only dorks like us care about. So, but there's always room for improvement. I will agree to that.
But they're out there paying $20 for a bag of 4 fuzzy dice. So I don't get it.
Chris Jones, the Godfather. That's a good one.
Well, he did make me an offer I can't refuse.
What's going on? And sorry for my fuzzy appearance. First broadcast here, and slowly learning that my Wi-Fi signal, although looks great in the studio, is not so great when this pumps it out through YouTube. So we will try to rectify that before the next stream, so that hopefully y'all can see my beautiful features in crystal clear HD. Let's see. Moving on here. Is any of the dead on translucent? Great question. At current, no, because Travis has not been able to source those dyes that give you that translucence that do not bleed. And he's taken a pretty hard stance against bleeding colors. So we may never see it if something like that just doesn't exist, which would make me sad. Come on, guys. Thumbs up. Michael's right.
80 people watching and only 45 thumbs up.
Awesome. So I'm thinking that because of my slow internet, especially with a storm blowing in, maybe that's why my chat froze up, because
that could have been
frozen up.
Yeah.
So, yep. So maybe that's something that I can improve on as well. So. Thank you, Shookum Bates. Or is it Skookum Bates? Randy's in here. What's going on, man? Yeah, he's a hand-pouring monster. Hand-pouring monster. He's having fun with that BTS OG mold, I'll tell you that. Having a good old time, aren't you? Cheers to that. I'm glad we were able to get our hands on them.
I'm going to have to get a refill here. I'm pretty much done.
Yeah, I just spilled my beer.
And don't forget Super Chats, everybody. If you want to support the channel, help Chris get better internet, Super Chats is the way to do it.
Super Chats are how we survive. Michael and I were talking about this the other day. There was like a golden era for creators on YouTube. And that was sort of right when COVID hit. And all of us really thrived during that time. And the algorithm changed, and it's never been the same. It's never been the same. No. We are all struggling. Even channels that have 500,000 subs are getting a quarter of the views that they were 2-3 years ago. Just average view counts. You can go to Social Playbooks, or is it Social Playbook? I don't know. Like there's websites that track a channel's health and growth.
Social Blade is the one that I use. Uh-oh, Chris has completely locked up for me.
And even though I'm still in the green, where YouTube's more saturated now, I've been in this 7 years. How much bait making can a person watch? I don't expect my first 1,000 subs to still all be active viewers every video. I mean, that's insane. As we grow, I would think that there's, cyclical viewers there. But I would hope that everyone would stick around. So
yeah,
Social Blade,
stick around.
Okay.
Oh, looks like Triple C's here in the house now. What's up, Chad?
John. Johnny, thanks for the super chat,
Oh, Johnny, there
buddy.
we go. Setting the trend.
No. Well, I'm gonna have to pay you back somehow. So,
You could
hey,
subscribe.
watching over 4 years now. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. So if you've been subscribed for 4 years, go subscribe to Bait Chuckin' right now,
Oh, thank you.
because this man is not only a very good content creator, he is also in the vendor space in our industry, providing us with some really fun effects and powders to make our baits even prettier than they were before. So that's all very important.
Oh, we're just getting started.
Yep.
It's a whole wide world of pigments out there that no one's
Don't
exploring
forget
yet.
about me when you take over the powdered pigment space. You know, before
I'm
you
not
know
gonna.
it, you'll be into automobiles and cosmetics, and
Wouldn't that be nice?
you'll forget about us bait makers.
I will not forget about bait makers. Never. I love fishing too
and
much.
too. Thanks, man. Been watching since the beginning.
You got me involved. We were actually talking
Fish
about this
HQ
earlier.
just subbed.
I bet most people don't know that I
Okay.
used to be a customer of Chris's before I even started making baits, like a hardcore customer. I would wait for all the drops on Instagram. He'd drop them. I'd like try and get in quick because he'd be like, okay, here they are. They're who wants them. Half the time I'd miss. I got a whole wall of his
He
baits over
used to
here.
be, yeah. Michael was a great swim bait customer of mine, and I must have done good enough that he was like, okay, this is so cool, I got to start doing it myself. Tim, thank you so much for the super chat, man. If
Tim,
you have any
what's
questions
up?
or comments, please throw them in, and we will give us your undivided attention. 4 years and counting. Thank you. Oh, my camera
Time to
wanted to
switch your
reset.
camera
Now we're
again.
coming back in. I know. Time's out. So Pete, Pete is a great example of somebody who, maybe, maybe this is incorrect for me to say, but I want to say he's relatively new. You can correct me if I'm wrong, um, but he is definitely on the powder train big time, and really has developed his eye. Really developed his eye for um, building color with powders, which is so much fun. And less is always more. It's so beautiful
Yeah.
to see people pick up on how to build color and not just opaque it to where it looks like a crayon. So
Yeah.
I love seeing that.
That's going to be
I absolutely
important
love
with the
seeing
new
that.
colors I'm releasing too. The new ones, they all have a backing color with them. And so, same thing. Less is more. You want it translucent so you kind of see that backing shade, which helps play off of the actual color shift of the powder. If you actually make it thick, you actually take away from the color shift. Believe it or not, with some of these newer mica
Yep.
powders I have
Mhm.
coming. Yeah.
See, and what's really fun about powders is often you can enhance them with a drop of black. Um, there's very few powders where a drop of black hurts.
Yeah.
So I would definitely do it.
Oh, Gulf Side's in the house. There's another new YouTube bait maker, Gulf Side Bait Works. He's been
Yeah.
pumping out the videos. He's in your neck of the woods down there in Florida.
Okay. Well, I need to check him out. Might be a possibility for a collaboration there if he's close enough. So hit me up on Instagram,
And
man. Let's talk.
and he makes saltwater bait, so maybe he could take care of your sister-in-law there. Then you don't have to make the baits. You can just get him.
Yeah. That's a whole nother side of this monster that's just waiting to be unpacked is saltwater bait making YouTube. Can't wait for those new 8-bit colors. Yeah. Damn it, man. That's funny. Doing my colors with flake. Yep. Just straight flake is a wonderful thing. So the first time I ever really saw flake color, we'll just call it that, which is a color with no pigment in it whatsoever, just flakes, was the Zoom Fluke color. Oh, what was it called? It was called something Shiner, I think. Oh, this is going to bug me now.
No.
But it's just straight flake. Zoom fluke.
They have like
Oh, what was it called? Golden brim. Golden brim. Called golden
golden
brim.
brim. Okay.
Yep. Yep. If my internet was better, I'd pull it up right here into it and show you all a video. Golden brim zoom fluke. It's a straight flake color and it is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, here's a good question for you.
Okay.
Fat Boy Fishing is in the chat. He's asking, here's an honest question. I make a lot of baits and I don't know what's a good color. I'm my own critic. I'm like, looks cool, but would it catch fish or would anyone want to buy it? Any suggestions? I say just get yourself some chameleon and go to town.
Yeah. So if you're new, I would go into it with the mindset that color is all about angler confidence, okay? You always hear the old, tired, lazy, worn out argument that, yeah, those baits will catch fishermen, but I don't know about fish. You know, people almost think they'll say that you almost as if they're trying to use it as an insult, almost as if your work is too pretty and you need to be shamed for that because you're only making baits that will catch fishermen. Well, no, your bait to ever actually catch a fish if it does not first catch the fisherman. I know from personal experience, I've been fishing a long time now. I don't think I've ever picked up a bait out of my tackle box and tied it on and cast it at a fish because I thought it was ugly. So I would just remember, look, color is always going to be subjective, but I wouldn't worry about are they going to catch fish. Bass will bite a white piece of plastic. Just look at what the Japanese are throwing, the fuzzy dice with skirt material. They'll eat anything, okay? At the end of the day, they're just kind of a dumb fish.
But Marlin
So-
proved they'll bite a block of wood.
They'll bite a block of wood. I've seen a 5-pounder caught on a hot dog, dangled off a dock. I guess it thought it was a fat Cinco. Make colors that you like. Make colors that look good to you, that you personally would have confidence in. And that's all you need. You need to develop your eye to what looks good for you. And I would suggest less is more. Never use super high concentrated drop counts. You're going to lose a lot of the vibe. Take a color changing color like Blue Craw or a chameleon from Lure Works or something like that. If you were to just I should stop using slang. Saturate them to death. They're going to lose a lot of that morph effect. You really need light refraction in your colors. So, yeah.
Yeah. Got to have some light transmission pass through.
See you later, man. Yeah. But yeah, I would say color is a lot about angler confidence. Yes, obviously, if the bass are keying in on shad and you throw an Alabama rig, don't throw solid black baits on your Alabama rig, but throw a color that mimics what they're eating. Of course, I wouldn't want to flip, heavy hyacinths in Florida with a straight chartreuse sweet beaver. No, I'd want it to look, a little bit more natural. But I think at the end of the day, color is all about what's going to give somebody confidence, right? They're not picking up that worm because they think it's ugly. Even though the bass will bite the ugly bait, of course it will. They will bite literally almost anything. A block of wood, even at the most extreme example. But the angler who's actually going to be catching the fish is going to pick up something that they think is pretty. I mean, let's be honest. You don't pick up the ugly bait. Not really. So
Wow.
that would be my mindset on it going in as a new bait maker. Hopefully that's feel free to jump in, I mean, have a counter position or you can take the same position,
No, I agree. It's kind of like, look, I know green pumpkin black flake will catch fish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever throw it. So many cooler colors I could be throwing. The hell am I going to throw
Thank
green
you.
pumpkin black
Yeah.
flake for? Like I'd rather throw
Nope.
a Bama bug or a June bug or something. Just whatever you think they're biting on. If it's purple or because maybe you heard from the local stick that it's purple with an orange belly. Or don't tell it's a
Yeah.
red worm with green flake or whatever it is. Like make that and throw it if that's what people are
Yep.
buying. Like that's whatever you're confident in, throw it. That's why
I
even
forget.
when you hear the pros, right, they're always like throw your confidence color, like whatever
Yep.
whatever you're the most confident in, because that's where you're going to be the most focused and in tune. Because if you're throwing a color that you're not confident in, all you're going to be thinking about is, am I throwing the right color? I don't know if this color is going to work. And you're just not even going to be paying attention to the
Yeah.
rod or what you're working the bait or anything. You're just going to be preoccupied. So whatever colors you think are badass, make those and people will buy them.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I think that's just another perspective on sort of the same concept of confidence colors. Throw what you like. So, for example, um, just kind of right around the New Year, I got to fish a really special place, a really private lake, about 25 minutes outside of town. I could have thrown any color I wanted. I could have just stuck to the basics, thrown green pumpkin. No, I made up a bunch of like blue craw, fancy worms, and I had confidence in them. In my first cast, I caught a 3 pounder. Would I have caught that same fish on black and blue flake? Yeah, probably. But as a bait maker, it's more fun to throw something that you just look at and you're like, ah, man, look at that. There's something to be said for a bait that really takes your breath away. Even if it's just a worm, if it's a really special color, you're just gonna fish it a little bit better, I think. So,
Yeah.
and that's what the pros say: fish your confidence color. So, to this young bait maker, I would say make your confidence colors.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
And look, there are cool colors that catch fish, like electric shad. One of the coolest colors you could make. It just looks awesome with
yep,
that sparkle
yeah, it
violet
looks
flake in there.
awesome.
And it
Yep,
catches the heck out of fish. I don't care if you're making a
yep,
shad bait, a senko, a worm, like electric shad catches fish. So there are cool colors that catch fish. So don't think it's all just flashing for show.
yeah, yeah. Not the
I will
fuzzy
say though,
guys.
the flip side to that though, and I don't know how this is for you, Chris, but I'll tell you, like, now I don't sell or do
Okay.
custom orders, but I make baits for a lot of people. So I would say the flip side to that question, my worst nightmare as a bait maker when I'm going to make someone some baits and I'm like, what color would you like? And they're like, oh, I don't know, just like whatever you think is going to catch fish. And I'm always like,
Oh, I get that all
no,
the time. Yep,
no, tell me what you want. And I'll make you
yeah,
the color you want. Because what
dude.
I want might not be what you are comfortable fishing. So, like,
Especially when I get someone that's like, I want 2 sets of your best hand poured swim baits, just any shad color that you think will catch them.
yeah,
You got to give me some direction. You
yeah,
got to give me some direction, or just tell me you want one that I already do.
yeah,
If you just leave me up to my own devices, it may be something that you hate. Not every pour is a winner. They're just not. I get crappers all the time. Really, I just don't really share that news too much, or when I do, I like to cut them into pieces and then I get skewered on Facebook. So I'll have to tell you about that story one day.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Apparently,
Can't
apparently,
wait.
I'm not allowed to throw away and trash failed baits, failed pours. I'm
Oh,
supposed to solve world hunger with them or something. Michael, I get that all the time.
yeah.
That's awesome. I enjoy all your videos. Have you guys seen Mark King on YouTube? Okay. Oh, you know what? I think I have seen him. That would have been probably around October. I think I stumbled onto some of his videos. I I actually don't watch a ton of bait making YouTube. When I do watch YouTube, I watch podcasts, I watch debates, I watch current event talk shows, some of your big podcasts. Of course, I'll tune into Rogan and Friedman every now and then. I don't watch a whole lot of other bait makers. I think it's just one of those, when I am on YouTube myself, baits is kind of like the last thing I want to do after probably have already been doing bait YouTube that week. So Michael probably knows a lot
Yeah.
more bait YouTubers than I do.
I'm
And
entrenched in it. I live on YouTube. It's a
okay,
sick habit, unfortunately.
yeah,
I don't watch cable TV though. We haven't had TV in our house for years, so it's all like
yeah,
Twitch and
good man.
YouTube and
Yeah,
So
we have Hulu Live, which essentially is cable through us, Hulu streaming, and we'll watch a few things on it. But yeah, man, this is where the action is, and
yeah,
this is where the action has been. This is
it says where
not
it's
a new
been.
thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
are we familiar with all the molds out there? Or hold on, I have a question for you guys. Familiar with all the molds out there? Inch, an aluminum. Yeah, so I think you're asking for like a full body aluminum injection mold that's like actual bluegill shape, not the open pore swim baits with the flat tops. I think that's what he's getting at.
Yeah, but see, the problem
5-inch
is,
Predator. Are you talking about the Prey?
well, I think what he's trying to find is an aluminum mold he can pour epoxy or resin into. And, to be honest, I don't know that you can include aluminum
Okay.
and epoxy in the same sentence together. They just don't mix.
Didn't Jason try it though? Didn't
yes,
Epic try it?
Jason and Marling
Like
sacrificed
they
a
never
bait.
knew. Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
got together and yeah,
Yeah, and they proved it's not wise.
probably not a good thing. Yeah.
It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people are like, yeah, it works fine. I mean, my advice would be do it at your own risk. I don't mess with resin, so I can't give super advice. But
Yeah,
I've only seen
never dumped resin into an aluminum mold, so I can't.
I've only seen horror stories. I don't know that I've seen a successful one, but that's just me. Not saying it's not
Yeah.
possible. Just
So if he wants like a realistic full body bluegill, like a real bluegill profile aluminum mold, I think BTS probably makes about the best one you can, the best one you can get. It's literally a bluegill shaped swim bait. Check that one out. Get on the BTS Molds website and look at their swim baits page, and you'll see it. Like you cannot miss it. It literally looks like an aluminum bluegill. So maybe that's something that you're after. It is injection though, so if you're trying to pour epoxy into it, may not work out. But if you're just looking to make masters, right? I mean, it sounds like you're wanting an aluminum mold that you can remold or make a master out of for like a resin bait or to make new molds. I'm not really sure where he's going with it. You could always inject a really firm plastisol in it. I don't know. It just depends on what he wants to do. I fish, work, watch YouTube, and make baits in that order. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Michael, I'm going to throw this question your way.
okay.
What is
the
your
question?
all-time favorite mold to pour or inject?
Ooh, well, I have two. There's two favorite molds. One is a replica mold that I have for personal use. I have a replica of the sweet beaver because that's my favorite bait of all time. Reaction animation
Okay.
sweet beaver. But my other favorite mold is the Slick Swim. The Epic Bait Molds Slick Swim. It's this little 4-inch kind of slick little minnow.
It's like a smooth. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of their earliest molds too.
It was like one of Jason's
Yeah.
second or third mold, and it's
I-
buried on the website. No one really knows about it. I'm telling you, it is hands down, at least for me on the Delta, it's my confidence bait. It is on my deck of my boat at all times.
What's your confidence color?
Ooh, confidence
in that
color,
bait?
electric shad.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
are you Electric chat? Okay.
Electric shad, yeah, by far.
So since you are Mr. 8-bit, when you make your electric shad, are you still using Sparkle Flake, or are you now using Siren Scales
Both.
or Rupees?
I use rupees. So the purple rupees get close to the sparkle violet flake.
Yeah. Okay.
And so but they're not quite the sparkle violet flake. There's a very particular shade of purple. So now I can get close. Sonic is a great hollow shift powder. But it's more on the blue side. It's like that same deep hue, but it's not purple. It's more blue. And I have there's another powder coming on the way. I haven't settled on the name yet. I think I'm going to settle on dark matter. I was actually going to call it electric shad, but I think it's a little on the blue side. But I have a purple.
Okay.
I have a purple that I'm working with that might be the breakthrough we're looking for in terms of scales, so we can make our own electric shad. But to answer your question, I still use Sparkle Flake. Lureworks Sparkle Violet Flake is in my recipe, and I put a dash of Sonic, my 8-bit bait Sonic, in there to give it that deep blue hue.
So we have a question from Zane, Chris, and Michael. Okay, so to both of us.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite DOP color?
Ooh, what is that? I got two. My favorite is Blue Craw. Dead on Plastic.
It's hard to say no to that. Yeah.
And but I would say Tide. If it's not Tide, maybe just like a slightly, just a C hair below. A Blue Craw would be Kiwis, because I love the green to brown color change as well. And I basically took your recipe, I took your Blue Craw recipe, Chris, and I just mimicked that with the Kiwis. So instead of adding, I just add a drop of green instead of a drop of the blue, and I use green flake instead of blue flake. Otherwise, it's the same. Just take the Blue Craw recipe, but do it with Kiwis, and it's
do it with Kiwis.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah. So
good.
if I if I had to answer. Man, if I'm just going to get one single bottle and just run it right out of the bottle and be satisfied every time. Got to look up there at my colors. Oh, man. I don't know. I guess it's Blue Craw. I can't think of anything that I love more.
Blue Craw is badass.
That's not what I use the most. For my more advanced color building, black is everything. It goes in almost everything.
It's funny you say that. I have a request. I have a special request for Travis.
Okay.
If you're listening to this, Travis, we need you to make a half strength black.
Agreed.
Just a half.
Agreed.
Because when I use everyone, because I get this all the time. Well, why not Dead on Plastics black versus Lureworks black? When I use my hollow shift powders, I'm like, because one drop of black is like 5 drops of Lureworks black. So it's like, I love the Dead on colors; they don't bleed, but that black is so strong.
Yep. So I had to kind of rewire my mind whenever I switched to Dead on Black. Here is the the big bad Mr. Dead on Black here, and a lot of my swim bait colors, which we're talking very low saturation counts. Okay, like a fraction of a drop makes a difference in some of these hues that I'm trying to reach. And I remember the first time I made hickory shad, the top color on my hickory shad is 7 drops of Lureworks Scuppernog, usually 2 drops of black, and then a smidge of green highlight. That's how I get my top color on hickory shad, which is my all-time bestseller now. And I remember the first time I had the Dead on Black, I put those 2 drops in there and said, "Oh, nope, gotta redo." So yeah, it was very strong. It turned it into a completely different color.
Yeah.
Not even in the same ballpark. It was so strong.
But it's great. Like when you're trying to do a solid black and blue, it's great because you can get a solid black with you 20 30 drops of dead on black,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
solid color, black and blue. But for the
yeah.
light color
Well,
stuff,
so Steve makes a good point here. You can always cut it with worm oil. You know,
yeah,
so
that's true.
yeah, yeah. So in theory, you could buy a brand new bottle. The brand. What are these 4 ounces? It doesn't really actually
Yeah,
say, but you could buy a brand new bottle of Dead on Plastics Black 4 ounce, and then buy I don't know the pint size bottle or something. Um, Dump all this in and then cut it with like half worm oil. So
that's a good
yeah,
point.
you could come up with a way to dilute it yourself and do it consistently. So if you really needed to. Thanks, Dead Rabbit. How'd you get the name Dead Rabbit?
It's an interesting name.
Mm-hmm. Bluish green. Yeah.
Ooh, Tony
You were
McNabb.
setting up
Yeah,
shop and
yeah.
wanted to get all your colors, powders, and flakes from one place. Where would you get your supplies from? Interesting question, because a decade ago, probably the answer to that question was probably Lure Craft. Then it became Lure Works. They kind of took over everything. Um, Now there's only one answer. It's got to be Dead on Plastics. If I just wanted to get your base liquid colors, also get great powders, and the absolute best flakes, yeah, it's Dead on Plastics. And I don't think it's close. You got to branch out from there a little bit if you want to get some more specialty effects, or if you prefer a different plastic, raw plastisol, that is. Obviously, there are other manufacturers, but for those three items, yeah, I'm going to DOP, and I'm not looking back, not even close.
But then once you're done at Dead On, you can come over to 8-bit and you can get stuff to spiffy up your
Well,
shop, like mats and
it's
stir
it's what I'm
sticks and
saying. If you
8-bit
want,
powders and but yes, no, I agree. Dead On Plastic, they
well,
got
yeah, 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 yeah. Just speaking to get all your bases colored, all
yes,
your bases covered. Yeah, right. But right now, what Travis is doing is incredible, and if you want to get some really nasty effects, yeah, what Michael's
are
doing is
are do you know are
really
they
giving us a lot of tools to make us look like we're better bait makers than we are.
are they going to expand the red label line at all? Are they going to break that out into like sinking and floating, or is that just more of a neutral
Um,
uh
Well,
like
I don't think they can get the phthalate plastic to sink. So,
yeah.
but the nature of Red Label is a more budget phthalate
Hmm.
plasticizer based compound. Um, I don't think there's a way to make that sink. So the original sinking black bucket plastisols, I don't think they set out to make a sinking plastic. I think it was sort of a symptom of the non-phthalate plasticizers, and it just kind of worked out that I really love it. I didn't really, I didn't really think about my plastic being sinking or floating before, in general, and kind of until all that happened. But in terms of the red label, I don't think there's a way to make it sink. So I don't think they'll add different formulas for that. I am hoping that they'll make different durometers so that they'll have
Yeah.
that soft medium, and then they'll have that medium hard. Because right
Yeah.
now they have soft, medium, hard. So
Yeah.
hopefully they'll do a few between durometers.
Because people ask
So
me in
yeah,
private messages all the time, like, what kind of plastisol to use, and I always tell them, like, if you're hand pouring, I feel like Dead On
yeah,
Black Label, you
every day,
can't,
man.
yeah,
Yeah,
you can't beat it.
yeah,
In injection though, I feel like the
yeah.
phthalate blends, regardless of whichever ones you go with, the phthalate blends I feel are better for injection, but hand pouring, hands down, Dead On. You can't beat the Black Label
Yeah,
for
so
hand pour.
if I was going to spend a whole weekend running as much injection as I could, the red label is just going to be a little bit cleaner. It's going to be a little bit faster because the viscosity is different. It sets up faster. I can shoot, demold, refill again faster. Um, it doesn't have quite the tack feeling to it. So I do think it. I think it cycles through the injector just a little bit cleaner.
Yeah.
But nothing really beats the pourability and working time of the Black Label
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, and now, like, with MF not making plastisol anymore, there's really only kind of you got two choices now. I mean, we're getting real limited here. We got Dead On and we have Bait Plastics, and I guess Lureworks
Yeah,
has
we're
their
actually
own.
kind of bit. Yeah. Sorry.
I would say Lureworks is making plastisol too now. I see, or maybe they have for a while, but it
Oh yeah.
seems new.
Oh yeah.
At least new to me.
Shoot, Color Technologies has been making plastisol. Yeah, I mean that's some of the first plastic that I started with.
Oh,
So when
really?
I
Okay.
started, Caney Creek was a a very common plastic. Obviously MF, Lure Craft, Kim Straley's plastic was a pretty big deal, very widely used. Um, Polysol bait plastics didn't come around till a little bit a few years after I got into the game. So prior to me starting my bait making journey, um, bait plastics, to my knowledge, was not making lure plastisol, or if they were, it was just a part of their Polysol parent company's
Yeah.
product line. They had not started bait plastics as the actual um, retailer for Polysol lure plastic. So I can't really say in confidence that it didn't exist, but bait plastics as we know it now did not exist.
Yeah.
um, and then Dead On, of course, started. um, so yeah, I mean look, so right now we have Dead On, we have Lure Works Color Technologies, and we have Bait Plastics.
That's
Yeah,
it.
Calhoun's still trying to hang in there.
Yeah, no, but it's
I
those are
think Fat Guys will sell you a bucket of that, but there's no real full time effort to sell it anywhere.
yeah,
So it's kind of gone. You know, it
yeah.
smells terrible, but it works really well. Ah, do
Sources are
it,
getting
do it. I
limited.
forgot about do it. Do it.
No.
Plastisol exists. Yes, it does. Okay, setting me straight. Oh, good grief,
Oh, it's camera
man!
time again.
We've been on here a while.
Yeah, hour 22. But see, I told you, you didn't.
Yeah,
We start
my
yapping. 90 minutes will
man,
go by like this, man. This
yeah.
is
Yeah, my blogging camera has a timeout feature of 30 minutes, so it does not matter what I'm doing or if the camera's in use. It wants to like reboot itself every half hour, and there's nothing I can do about it. So
we need to get those thumbs up, people.
yeah,
We got 80 plus people watching and only 70 thumbs
awesome
up here.
guys.
Come on.
Yeah,
Thank you for
and
sticking
I'll
around.
watch this stream back tomorrow, and I'll probably cringe at how bad my picture is. But hey, you know what? We will get these things worked out. And look, for anyone who's been watching tonight, I want to have everyone on this program as a guest. If you even have, you don't even have to be a bait maker. If you just have an interest in the subject, if you're just an angler who has an appreciation for what we do, what I do, here my efforts on the channel, if you just want to learn more about this, or thinking about becoming a bait maker, look, this is an open program here. That's what's going to make this program successful is interaction and discussion about this industry, about this hobby, techniques, beginner questions and troubleshooting. Um, you know, Even getting into the weeds, showing you some funny hater comments on Facebook and YouTube, and you know, having a laugh at me back. Like there's a lot of fun ways that we can engage, and anybody watching, message me. I'm very easy to find on Facebook and on Instagram Messenger as World's Worst Fishing, and let's set up a podcast. So that's really what I'm wanting to do is have a lot of people on. Jeff, what's going on, man? I
Jeff
need to
is in
pull
the
up some of your pores on
house.
here and show the world what's going on.
Oh, he's got one of the coolest custom hand pour molds. I swear, his baits look awesome.
He has figured out a way to drizzle. Um, what's the right word? he has figured out a way to use the drizzling method where you're slinging little spider webs of plastic in there, but he's figured out a way to do it. Um, Not respectfully, it's not. I don't know. Classy, like it doesn't look like a 5-year-old with a marker. So I really like that. He's kind of layering some color in, and I think he's drizzling a little bit behind it, and so it gives it a little bit of depth. But it's not just a scribble scrabble mess. So it's because it's real fun to just scribble scrabbles, drizzle plastic everywhere, and then cook it to death and swish it all together. But he's found a way to really do something neat with it. So best place to buy eyes from.
Interesting.
I don't think you need eyeballs for the tracer shads, man.
Yeah, the second half of that question. There's no eyeballs on
Yeah,
that mold. I don't think
yeah.
so.
Don't
Yeah.
if all you're wanting eyes for is the tracer shad molds, don't waste your money.
Amazon is where I would get. That's where I get my eyes from. The only
Yeah,
other
I also
custom
use.
places I know of was there was Jetson, which you had your customized through, and then Dead Meat Customs.
Yeah,
Those are the only two custom guys I know
yeah.
that make eyeballs.
I wish I had the story on Jetson so that I could share it, but I don't.
Ho, super chat coming
Oh, super
through.
chat. Thank you, Randall. Thank you. I have a
Randall,
cousin named
what's
Randall.
up?
What's happening? Chris, you inspired me to make baits. That's what we set out to do. Glad to hear. Bait chucking gave you color confidence. Amen.
There we go.
Awesome. Well, so what types of colors? So if we want to talk color with you, what colors are you working on now? What are you developing at home? What direction are you going to take your bait making in? I'm very curious. Are you down the hand pouring rabbit hole, or are you injecting your favorite laminates? Have you tried the triple injector? So yeah, let us know what you've been up to, man, and I appreciate it. 5-0. Thanks so much, man.
Oh, Toby. That's what's going on. Thanks for the support, Toby.
Yeah, and listen, um, reach out to me. Reach out to me. I'll have you on the program. Yeah, I would. All this is exactly why I wanted to do this podcast.
I
So
you know, do you watch Toby's channel? I love watching
I
his
have.
videos.
Yep.
He
And I think I see a lot of his stuff just on platforms just in general.
I it there's not many YouTubers I watch, but like I watch Toby's videos. I love it because his reactions are so genuine. I get like so when he's all excited, I kind of get giddy too. Just the way he's like,
Oh
"Oh, hey, look at this color right here!" I'm just like, "Oh, dude," he cracks
yeah,
me
man,
up.
I
Man.
I
I love
love
watching
it.
your videos, Toby.
Ah,
I love it
yeah, I
because
love it when you open a mold and it's still like the first time you ever did
yeah,
it.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, like this hobby will do that to you. It stays young somehow. I can come out here and make watermelon red, and if I just really do a good job that day, I'm still blown away by it. Like it still blows my mind that I did this,
Hmm.
and I've done some pretty crazy stuff. I've taken it to a pretty high level. I still get excited for watermelon red. So
Baldwin Bates is saying, "I'm 17. I run my bait business. Does anyone have any tips for growing the brand? Yeah, get on YouTube. What are you doing?
hey, well, you know what? You're already off to a great start getting in
Yeah,
young because you have a lot of time, right? You may not think you have a lot of time because high school and girls and dating and trying to fish. No, this is the time to be aggressive. Um, I started way after my golden years when I had all the opportunity in the world to be doing something with my life, and I, pissed it away, as they like to say. So yeah, you're on the right track, getting in early. Um, in terms of growing your brand, look, there's no secret to it. You got to get on social media and
yes,
just hammer it.
hammer
I,
it, hammer it.
I don't really have any other better advice. Obviously, form an actual business entity, learn about the excise tax, do the business part of it correctly. Don't half, that. If you're going to do it, really do it. consult somebody who can help you set up a corporation if you haven't already. And there's no secret to the hard work. Look, a lot of people don't know. I started as Land is the Limit Soft Plastics, right? I drew that. My family drew that logo, by the way, even though you've seen it stolen 100,000 times. So I started over a decade ago now, and it took years, guys, years of beating social media, and I really didn't get my foothold until I started this YouTube channel, which kind of really took off there for a couple of golden years, and that's not going to be everybody's story. Not everyone is going to be able to turn back the clock and start a bait making YouTube channel now that gets big because it's more saturated and it's no longer new to the YouTube space. When I started this, I kind of had it all to myself in a way for the type of content I was doing. That guy Skimpy was around, and that's about it. So um, you just have to hammer social media. Um, Read up as much on that as you can, and I think ultimately what you want to remember is content is king. You're
Yep.
gonna have to find ways to put what you're doing in front of people, and all the action is on social media. Well, maybe not TikTok. Is it really getting banned, by the way, in like 48 hours?
I believe so. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll let Michael jump in.
Yeah.
He'll have a good take on this as well.
No, this. I mean, it's a great question, and this is where I hope this podcast is actually a format that I can, share some of my knowledge with. Chris is by far, in a way, the
Of
bait
course.
expert here, but I have a lot of experience running very large business portfolios. And I think step one, like you said, you're 17, you set up your own business. You're now a small business owner. That's awesome. By the way, guess what? You're now also automatically, by default, a social media content creator. So welcome to the club. Because,
Yep.
like Chris said, content is king. And if you look at any large scale corporation, where are they putting all of their marketing and ad dollars right now? It's all into content. It is getting a team of influencers, getting them to make content, promoting your product, getting your name out there, and don't fall for the trap. I think by the trap, I mean, anytime you start up a new bait company, people are going to hit you up. Oh, like, you want to sponsor me? Like, I fish in local
You
tournaments.
use
I'll use your
sponsor.
baits. Yeah, air quotes around sponsor, right? Like, so you ended up making a bunch of baits. Look,
Yeah.
the 8 hours you would put into making a YouTube video will go much further for your business than sponsoring a pro. And I think the perfect example of this is not to call out the Bassmaster Elites and these guys, but they're even out here complaining that they're losing money paying
Yeah.
sponsorships to fishing YouTubers, and they're complaining about it. But it's like, well, that's because the fishing YouTubers are getting the eyeballs. Like someone who's got 100,000 subs on YouTube, like you've Mr. Jones over here, right? Like 100,000, 200,000. Some of these guys, you look at like Fishing with Norm, and some of these younger guys, they're up towards 1 million. They get more eyeballs than the Bassmaster Elite does on
Oh,
ESPN
not even
12
close.
on a Sunday. That's just the reality of the numbers don't lie. So that's where companies are putting all their ad dollars in. That's where you need to be playing if you want to get your name out there. Great tips would be, like, on my packaging, I utilize QR codes. So like, you get an 8-bit bait
Yeah.
sticker.
So I mean, here's
Yeah.
a
Go ahead.
yeah. Well, so like me, I consider my channel large, but I'm still a dink. By comparison to some of the major tent. Uh,
You broke up there.
I basically got an offer to start pumping adult toys and having a
Oh no,
in there for a second.
we lost him. Did his
So
internet go
if you
down?
didn't hear that, yeah,
There
the
he is.
advertising dollars, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm back up on my end.
You're back. You're back. You're back.
So yeah, so advertising dollars are being thrown around like mad, to the extent that an adult toy company threw a deal at me on my fishing YouTube channel. So it doesn't really, yeah, obviously I didn't take it. Maybe I should have, and it would have just been hilarious. But yeah, that's the market that you're in when you not going to happen overnight. It did not happen overnight for me. It took me over a year to get to 1,000 subs, and that was when soft plastic bait making tutorials on YouTube really didn't exist. I had it all to myself, and it still was just a grind. So
Yeah. Well, and
yeah,
you just said the most important thing, and I want people to have realistic expectations. You said it took you a year to get to 1,000 subs,
yeah.
because that's actually pretty quick. Like that's quick.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
if you no seriously, if I think if 500 to 1,000 in your first year, you're kicking butt. A lot of people were commenting on my channel because first year I got 3,000 subs, like 3,200 subs first year. But what a lot of people don't realize is I've been doing YouTube for 10
Man,
years in a different life before this, previous to bait making. So it was 10
that's right.
years of
That's right.
experience doing social media in order for me to get the 3,000 subs on a new channel in 1 year. So don't come out of the gate expecting to get 100,000 subs or whatever. Like, set realistic expectations, right? But I can tell you, like, after doing this now for 2 years, my channel's at 6,000 subscribers, and I started my own bait pigment business right in the second year of that, and so only 1 year of an actual business, and I did fairly well my first
Yeah,
year. I can't pay myself yet. I can't quit my job, but I've been able to dump all that money right back into the business to
yeah,
where now I'm kind of halfway between. I've expanded, and like
yep.
next year or so, I might be able to quit my job. So put your time and effort into social media and building your brand that way. The return on investment is through the roof. Yeah.
Thanks, Travis. You've been watching for 2 years before you made your first bait. Yep, and now you are off and running.
Oh no, straight jacket.
Yep.
Oh, I hate reading that. My hand hurts thinking about it. Did you see his note? He burnt his hand. Did you see that there?
Oh no. Oh, ouch. Yep, I've done that.
Burned my hand for the first time, and no joke, it took a month to heal.
I really
Yeah.
need to get a chair. My back is killing me.
Oh,
Ooh,
you got to get a
90
chair.
minutes, 97 minutes. Yeah. I'm sitting on a bar stool. Let's see. Oh, Gulfside wants to see your old YouTube work
Oh,
if it's still
nah.
around.
It's not.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's no longer around. Yeah, we
Was
don't
it
talk about that
Doggo the
life anymore.
Hut? Is that what it was?
I don't know what you're talking about. No idea what
Okay.
you're
All right.
talking
We don't
about.
know. All right. I don't know what I'm talking about. Thank you guys so much. Both of you are very helpful. Excellent. I'm going to record that and rewatch it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we can always touch on this again, hopefully, when my camera's a little bit clearer. So, very cool.
This is fun.
Well, yeah, yeah. And obviously, guys, every time I come out here and go live um, through Casting Creations itself, sometimes I'll be solo, and those are going to be fun streams too because basically, I'm just going to be absolutely running through all of you guys' content. We're going to get on the Facebook pages. We're going to watch other
Ooh.
bait makers on YouTube. We're going to react to bait. Well, if TikTok is still around, we'll react to some bait TikToks. We'll jump in some other people's live streams while we're on live stream. We'll look at recent work. We'll look at some haterade, some hater
Ooh,
content, and we'll
haterade.
destroy their arguments with
Logic.
superior logic. Yep. So
Funny how
yeah,
that works.
there's a lot of things that we can do. I can drag, I can share my screen and drag other types of media in here that we can all watch together and react to together. So, some of my favorite content is watching people react to other people's content. So hopefully we can bring some of that kind of fun and excitement to the bait scene. So
I hope so. This is gonna be a
yeah,
fun ride.
hopefully so. So yeah, I need to boost my internet a little bit, and we'll be ready to roll. So
Hey, we had
yeah,
over
Sweet Boys
80
knows what
people
I'm
tonight.
talking about. Whenever somebody Awesome, awesome. Yeah, whenever out of 112,000, come on, y'all, week. But yeah, whenever somebody really says something dumb or leaves me a really hateful comment, I always rant to Johnny Sweet about it. I'm always like, "Did you see what this guy said?" So yeah, he knows. He knows.
This is why I'm not on
So
Facebook. This is why.
man, I'm telling you, it's bad. YouTube comments are bad enough, but I'm telling you, we could pull up some of the soft bait Facebook groups right now and just scroll through some posts.
Oh no.
Everybody wants to be the expert. It is, yeah. I'll just leave it at that. I think a lot of people are giving advice in good faith to the best of their knowledge, but some people are just straight up bad actors,
Yeah.
and
Well,
they're just spewing garbage to newcomers, or hating on me or hating on someone else. So
yeah. My response typically to a lot of those people are like, "Well, you know where my YouTube channel's at. My work's on public display. How's your work doing?
yeah,
Where's your work? Oh, you're not displaying your work. Oh, okay, right,
yeah. It's
right.
it's it's,
Just
e-
just
it's
making
easy
sure
to
we're
talk
okay.
smack
Yeah,
when you're not the
yeah,
man in the arena.
yeah,
That's for sure.
yeah.
I've been
See how that works.
probably the target of the most soft bait making related hate that's ever been on the planet. Me, so
Well, you're the most
um,
popular, so of course you're gonna have the most haters.
I get the most hate. Yeah, and I was kind of the first to do this, and the first influencer, so to speak, to come in and, and kind of really change things up.
Yeah,
The more people a channel like mine or anyone else's brings into this hobby, that is customers potentially for the vendors. And when some of the vendors started really hating on me because I pushed other brands, I was like, "You idiot! Don't you understand that my success is by proxy your success?" But nope, they didn't figure it out.
rising
So
tide
they
raises
should have
all
been cheering
ships.
me on as much as they could. Even if I was pushing other brands, they still stood to gain a lot. So, oh,
Yep.
interesting question. I'd love to touch on
Mm.
this real quick.
Yeah.
What do
What you
you
got?
dislike the most about being a bait maker or bait business? Hmm. What do I dislike about this?
People always wanting free samples.
That's a good one. That's a good one. People always wanting free samples. Um, what do I not like about this?
I tell you what, the odor really.
The older I get, probably honestly the time commitment. I'm more
Really,
worn out at the end of the day. My kids are a little bit older. They're now doing more things. They're not stuck on bottles in the crib. So I want to spend more time with them. Um, I'm deeper into my career at work. So, I come home a little bit more exhausted and I'm a little bit older now. And there's less energy left to get out here and slave away. So, um, I would say there's nothing that I dislike about what I do. Yeah, sometimes filming is really a chore. Sometimes editing is really a chore, and I have to give up something that I really wanted to do in order to do it. So I would say probably the time commitment or the opportunity cost of not doing something else to come out here and keep trucking. So, but in terms of actually physically being out here doing this, I absolutely love it. I hate paying the excise tax. I hate, having to do like all the books and, accounting and all that stuff. I don't really care for that. Um, but in terms of being a bait maker and being a YouTuber, yes, I still actually like really enjoyed this.
one thing I'll say that I actually hate is that one thing I hate about being a bait maker is I never get to make baits for myself.
For yourself.
And so when I do get to make baits for myself,
Mhm.
that's when it's really enjoyable because like there's no camera. I don't have to order deadline
Yeah,
to meet for
isn't that
someone, and I'm
great?
just like, oh, what colors though? Okay, let's try some of
Yeah,
this and this, that, and then I actually
just
get to
get out
really,
here.
yeah,
You don't.
yeah.
Yep, and you can just go.
That's you're so precious.
Hmm.
And I don't even sell baits. This is just me making baits for other people and like
Oh, brother.
giving them
Yeah.
away or
Ooh.
YouTube. So when I get to make them for myself, it's like great because I make all these cool baits for the videos and then I send them, or I trade baits with
Yeah.
people, and then I get out to fish on my boat and I'm like, what happened to that cool color? Oh yeah, I gave it away to
Well,
somebody.
and that's another thing. You start getting into this, especially if you want to run that little side business, right? Your fishing time goes way down.
Yes, yeah, I
How,
like
how many times
fishing.
has that nitro been out? Mine. I've probably
Oh,
only had my boat in water 12 times.
oh, I was out way more than that. Oh, come on, Chris, you got to
Okay,
get better
good.
at that.
Good for
Oh
you.
no,
Good for you.
I don't even know. That thing's been out pretty much every single weekend, and then some from February
That,
through late
that's
October.
that's right. I keep forgetting your kids are not as young as mine.
Yeah, no, my kids are older,
Yeah.
so when
Yeah.
Friday afternoon hits, it's fishing time. My wife don't see me
Awesome.
till Sunday evening.
Man, okay, got you a
It's
good woman there. Okay.
Well, she's writing her books, so we've been married 13 years, so she like get out of the house. She's like
Yeah,
go
I'm
fishing, get out of here.
coming up on 8 here in March.
Oh, congratulations! Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Not
but my
bad.
boat's
Not
like
bad.
I'm like the same Michael from Bougie Bass on Instagram. My boat's my side piece. So
Awesome. Okay,
my
great.
my wife's like, go have
That's
fun with your mistress, and I'll just come back in a
that's
good
what I
mood.
love to hear. Because I know that my fishing has gone way down the drain just over the years. The more I'm out here, especially when I really got bitten with the hand pouring bug. I just kind of had this personal. I just had this personal thing. I've got to take this to the absolute extreme, and the amount of hours out here, um, particularly learning my skin pouring methods and inlaying my layers. Um, you know, I kind of had to learn that all myself. No one showed me how to do that. No one told me how to do that. I had a few hints here and there. Um, but anyone you see now pouring capsules, and really trying to do true skin pouring, 4 or 5 years ago, that information was not there. No one was going to buy an open pour 2-piece swim bait mold and just do that. you have you had to be shown, and I was shown what could be done in those types of molds through studying Jeff Peel's work. I was never taught or told how to do it, so I kind of reverse engineered all these methods and then I taught them to the world. I'm not saying every person who does that came to it through me, but several years ago, I was the only person showing how to do that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and
Oh,
I had to learn it for myself through and through. And that took an unimaginable amount of time out here suffering over this table, failing after fail after fail after fail. And so, yeah, I've really taken that to the extreme, and that's been quite a time commitment. So, yeah, I have not done as much fishing. So,
Well, I'm gonna try not to boost your ego too much here, but even from talking with Jeff over there at MF, he even said like this industry was for all intents and purposes dead, and then you started making videos, and all of a sudden it like revived it for you. And I've
yeah,
heard through the grapevine for Lureworks and even some of these other guys, Dead On, Spawned as a company. Now they're hugely successful now. Like, so again, like I said, not trying to boost your ego, but
well, I mean, I don't see it as that, to just make an observation that hey, somebody had a role, had a
yeah,
part to play in this growing, and I can pat myself on the back for that, because that's what I set out to do in a way. So
the Godfather, as someone said in chat earlier.
yeah, okay, well, yeah, that's an ego comment. Is yeah, I don't think of myself as the Godfather. um, no, I'm just a worn out parent, that's trying to still do his YouTube thing because I like it. But yeah, I definitely you know I'm very proud to hear stuff like that, because I know that I've put that work in. Nobody gave this to me, so this was all done right here, right by me. So, Well, hey, we're up to an hour 50, so I think we're
Yeah,
gonna call it because
we
it's
should
much
get
later here.
everyone's
It's
going
going
to
on 11
bed.
o'clock. Yep.
Yeah, it's late on the East Coast. Johnny's going to
Yep.
bed. Yeah.
Late on the East Coast. Oh, yep. So anyway, people, persons, bait makers, whoever, folks, guys, thanks for tuning in. A little bit of growing pains here on the lag and internet, but we'll straighten that out. But I want to thank each and every one of you for being a part of sort of the maiden voyage here. I've done live streams in the past, but they're just on my phone and they are what they are. I'm really going to take a crack at trying to make an interactive lure making podcast show.
We're going to get him there. Before you know it, folks, he'll be rocking and rolling. We need to fix his internet, though.
I think will add a new dynamics for people to engage with not only me through my audience and reach, but also for anyone who just wants to talk baits. This
Oh, no.
I hope this will be a great forum for it, and even more, a little bit more on the map. Just like we were touching on, I help put a lot of this on the map. I want this to put it on the content map a little bit more. So that's what we're hoping.
Yeah, I think people like it. We got a lot of bait makers in chat. It seems positive. So
yeah, 2 hours in, we still have 76 people in. So
be on the lookout for it, people. Tell a friend.
Yeah. It'll be under the title Casting Creations, and it will be coming through the world's worst fishing social platforms. Tonight, just YouTube, but look forward to a few other places in the future. So
awesome.
Okay.
Well, thanks for having me, Chris. Appreciate it.
Dude, no. Thank you for being here. This would not be possible without Michael's help. He had to nurse me like an infant to kind of figure out, how all this stuff works and learn a streaming platform. And, you need headphones. No, I don't. Yes, you do. Oh, yeah, you need headphones. So, these are all, how to turn my camera into a blogging camera or, a live stream camera. These are all things I still be stumbling around trying to figure out. So can't thank Michael enough. Thanks for being here tonight. You will see the two of us again in here, hopefully. I would like to have him on as much as he can be here. So
yeah, I'm here.
But
I'm here for it. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, all right, guys. Have a good night. And thanks for logging on. Michael, I'm going to get out of here, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. So
yep. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See you in the next video.